It could be either possible that life originated outside the Earth from another unknown part of the universe and we are merely an adapted form of this life on Earth, or was there any other element that expedited and influenced the design of this life form we know on Earth? Even if life was created outside the Earth, still the question remains valid until we know what the intelligence was behind such creation of life. If you step back and look at DNA sequence, and the ability of a cell to process and create multiple copies by itself is really fascinating. But where did the information in the cell come from? How did the cell complex information processing system arise? If one whole cell DNA was uncoiled and its information is stretched out, then it would be 6 feet long. Also, the scientists has estimated that if all the coded information from one cell of one person were printed on books, then it would fill a library of 4,000 books. And if the whole body DNA were positioned continuously, it would extend from our Earth to Moon more than 500,000 times. Clearly, the information feature of the cell at least appears designed and not formed randomly. Also, it is estimated that a single gram of DNA with a volume of 1 centimeter cube can hold as much information as a trillion compact disks, that is approximately 750 terabyte of data. Today we have tons and tons of rack-mounted storage and processing units to handle information on silicon-based computers. I now really feel how primitive we are in processing and storing information compared to the unknown intelligence design we see within our cell. Scientists have already started storing digital data in DNA since 2012, and the DNA-based storage technology is being improvised to make it practical for everyday use. The power of sequential computing we could achieve using the molecular design is even more fascinating. Let's look at the read and write rate of DNA. In bacteria, the DNA replicates at the rate of 500 base pairs of chromosome a second. But this is only 1000 bits per second, which is a snail pace when compared to the data throughput of an average hard drive. But look what happens if you allow many copies of the replication enzyme to work on DNA in parallel. First of all, the replication enzyme can start on the second replicated strand of DNA even before they have finished copying the first one. So already the data rate jumped to 2000 bits per second. But look what happens after each replication is finished. The number of DNA strands increases exponentially. With each additional strand, the data rate increased by 1000 bits per second. So after 10 iterations, the DNA is being replicated at the rate of about 1 megabits per second. After 30 iterations, it increases to 1000 gigabits per second. This is beyond the sustained data rate of the fastest hard drive we ever had. Imagine what would be the computing power of all human cells. We have 100 trillion cells in our body. We can take more inspiration from the working of our cells to further improve the architecture and performance of our silicon-based computers. How is it possible that a non-living element transforms into such an intelligent, complex living thing? It is hard to conclude that there is no intelligence behind the origin of life, and we don't just exist by chance.